Greetings, YouTube viewers. I bring you tidings upon this Halloween. Tidings of devilish glee, as I complete my Rumiko Takahashi tribute today. Today I will be reviewing what I consider to be Rumiko Takahashi's finest accomplishment. A tale so evilly good, it should never have been made. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you today Let's just pretend that didn't happen, okay? Anyway, the story of Ranma is as follows. Ranma and his father Gemna went to China, trained at the Cursed Springs at Juzenkyo. Ranma was knocked into the spring of drowned girl, and subsequently whenever he splashed with cold water, he becomes a girl. They both go back to Japan, where Gemna drops the bomb on Ranma that he's going to be engaged to one of Gemna's best friend's daughters. Ranma doesn't like it. The daughter doesn't like it. However, they're forced upon each other, unofficially engaged, and now they must learn to live with it. Over the course of the show, they do start having feelings for each other. They do actually start liking and even eventually loving each other, but they're just too afraid to admit it. And it also doesn't help the fact that Ranma has all sorts of fiancés and Akane has all sorts of suitors coming after him, which complicates things and makes it all the more funnier. If it sounds like I'm rushing things here, I'm really not. It's just if you see my Urusei Yatsura review, Ranma 1/2 is a lot like that, in that you have the core story of Akane and Ranma and their love for each other, and then everything else is pretty much a misadventure from that point on. There really is no overarching storyline in this series as well. And that isn't a bad thing. In fact, it actually helps the show out, because if it was just Akane and Ranma, things would get boring very quickly. But when you add in all the extra characters, all the extra scenarios and everything, you get a really great mixed bag of humor, laughs, sweet. I mean, the show has it all. It really does. Ranma 1/2 is technically labeled as a romantic comedy, but really it's more than that. It's also a huge parody on martial arts. Urusei Yatsura was a huge joke on science fiction and fantasy and all that, and Rumiko Takahashi continues that tradition in Ranma 1/2 by making fun of martial arts and slightly a little bit of the fantastical side of things, but it's a minor footnote. Almost all of Ranma's rivals are martial artists one way or another, from Kuno, the self-proclaimed kendo master of the high school, to Ryoga, to martial artists figure skating people. You even got some odd ones in there, martial arts eating and even martial arts cheerleading. I mean, like I said, this show is a parody of the martial arts culture and lampoons it in very interesting ways. Another aspect I'll briefly touch on about the show is that almost all characters have an interesting weapon, certainly unusual. You have Happosai with his pipe, you have Ukyo with her giant spatula, you have Ryoga with his giant parasol. I mean, everybody here has a very odd choice of weapons, and it's very funny to watch how they're all utilized. Ranma 1/2 is best compared to a box of chocolates. You have your sweets, you have your nutties, and occasionally you get the little coconut bonbons that nobody likes, okay? But the rest of the show is very good. The rest of the show is very enjoyable. You will laugh your butt off with this show here. And like Urusei Yatsura, this is one of the shows that can't really be explained to it. I mean, I could tell you all the great episodes that are in there, but really this is going to be one where you just have to watch it yourself and determine which ones you like or what you don't like here. But I guarantee you, the majority of the show is very good. Watch it. Moving on to the character side of things, this is the show that I really believe that Rumiko Takahashi's genius all came together. Urusei Yatsura was a good start, okay? She continued it with her second summation Ikako, which I won't review because I haven't seen. But Ranma is where she was able to bring all the pieces together and create her best characters ever. No, I don't think Inuyasha has her best characters. Unlike her other show, Urusei Yatsura, where you had just a whole slew of characters, a lot of those were one note. In Ranma, Takahashi combines a lot of the traits of the single-note characters from Urusei Yatsura and combines them into really great characters that are more alive than her predecessors were. And that's not slighting her other works, okay? It's just that if you were to look at Ranma 1/2 and then compare it to her other shows, you'll see that overall Ranma has the better characters, okay? Her other shows have some interesting characters, granted, okay? And in fact, you'll probably like them a whole lot, but you'll just see the difference in how she constructs them and how she combines a lot of traits into these characters and make them feel almost as if they could come off the screen. Take, for example, the character Ryoga Hibiki. This is, in my opinion, the best character ever created in anime. I mean, there's so many different sides and facets to him that you really won't be able to experience it all in one sitting. You kind of have to rewatch it again. I mean, this is a character that can play the hero, he can play the villain, he can play the rival, he can play the friend, he can play the fool. Almost any part you put him in, he fits it so naturally that you wonder if she did not base him off of an actual person. This is just one example of a great character. There's so many more in the show here, but really, if you really want to know more about the characters, I recommend go to my homepage, eagletrigger, YouTube, whatever the hell it is. Scroll down and look them under my subscriptions. You'll see one for DJclyve, or something that's how you pronounce it. Alright, this guy's an authority on Ranma characters. Go there, click on one of his profiles, you got it. That's really all I can say about all the characters of Ranma. They're just, you just have to watch, really. You just really have to watch. And last on our agenda, the production values. As you can tell, the animation is not too bad. This did come out, I believe, starting in the late 80s. The animation does get progressively better, though, as it goes along. So, for those of you that don't like crappy animation, don't worry, it does get better. In terms of the voices, this is one of the shows where it's kind of hard to get into the English dub at first. They do fit into their characters better as the series progresses, but this is one of those that if you're not used to English dubs, you're probably not going to like right off the bat. It's an acquired taste almost. I really didn't have a problem with them once the seasons kept rolling or whatever, but it is something to be noted of. The music in the show is alright. A lot of it is just synthesized versions of the opening and closing themes, although there are some other unique tunes throughout the show there. Nothing as outstanding as the Inuyasha soundtrack, but if you're familiar with how the music of Urusei Yatsura, you feel right at home with this. Overall, though, it's not a bad soundtrack. Now, as much praise as I've given this show, there are a few complaints. These will be noted. It doesn't really detract from the show, but like I said, they will be noted. First of all, the first season of this is kind of slow, okay, because it's introducing a lot of the characters and it's setting up a lot for what's going to come. Remember, I said there's no overarching story. There's no overarching storyline. There's just a bunch of misadventures, but some things that do happen in the first season do come back in the later seasons. So, for those of you that are trying to get into this show here, get through the first season, see the characters, okay, and just go on from there. All right. This is one of those where you have to watch the first season again when you're done watching the whole series. Okay, it is funnier the second time you watch it through. It really is. Trust me. I've already touched briefly on some of the voice acting in this, and also some of the quality of the episodes, so I don't feel I need to go back into those again. Overall, there wasn't really a whole lot else I could say about this show that really detracts from it. Just be forewarned, there are a lot of booby flashes in this show here. A lot of them, however, are Ramna's female form, so I don't know if you can technically count those or not. I mean, technically he's a female, but he's a male first of all, so really, but that's another discussion for another philosophical day, so. And no, I'm not going to show you, so don't ask. Overall, I give Ranma 1/2 4 cute fiancés out of 5. Thanks again for tuning in to another one of my reviews. I will be accepting requests again, now that I've got my tribute to Rumiko Takahashi out of the way. So let me know what you want to see, and I'll get it for you. Anyway, thanks again. Peace out.